Hello and welcome. My name is Argiro Cavada. I am the Executive Director for the GEO SDG initiative. On behalf of the Group on Earth Observations and the Earth Observations for Sustainable Development Goals initiative, I am very excited today to be honoring the organizations receiving the 2021 GEO SDG Awards. As you may know, this is the third year of the GEO SDG Awards program. This international awards program recognizes organizations who take action while building coalitions across sectors and communities to increase progress on sustainable development goals monitoring, tracking, and implementation through the use of Earth observations. The awards honor productivity, ingenuity, proficiency, novelty, and exemplary communications of results and experiences in the use of Earth observations to advance sustainable development in alignment with the SDGs. This year, we received 24 nominations from organizations around the world. Leading up to the ceremony, 9 panelists from across sectors and countries reviewed the nominations, assessing the overall impact, quality, and soundness of the Earth observation endeavors, engaging their potential to be replicated and scaled up. We are thrilled to recognize the work of 8 awardees this year. We hope the awards give these organizations an opportunity to showcase and promote the outstanding efforts and achievements. And so now I would like to turn to each one of the representatives of these organizations whom we have invited to join us virtually to learn more about the awarded projects. It is my honor to announce that Colombia has been selected for a 2021 GEO member country sectoral category award for their work in leveraging optical satellite imagery, census data, and population projections to calculate SDG indicator 11.3.1, ratio of land consumption to population growth rate for a national sample of cities. We want to especially recognize their success in showcasing the value of statistical and geospatial integration to produce SDG indicators for national monitoring and decision-making. Accepting the award, and I'll ask you to please turn on your camera. Accepting the award is Sandra Liliana Moreno, Technical Director of the GEO Statistics Division at the National Administrative Department of Statistics, DANE, in Colombia. Congratulations. Sandra, the question that we have for you is, could you please explain how your team has leveraged Earth observations to monitor and report on urbanization trends at the national level? And how can this integration of statistical and geospatial data be leveraged to promote resilience of cities and communities in Colombia? Over to you.
Thank you. Well, first of all, thank you so much for this recognition. Yes, DANE recently started a process to promote innovation in a statistical process. In this process, we explore the use of Earth observation data, not only as a reference source for the georeferencing process of statistical information, but also as a source to generate new information and reduce information gaps in the statistical production. Earth observation are an essential source of information for the exploration and calculation of targets related to 11 SDG. The first SDG indicators that we calculate was 11.3.1. We calculate this indicator for 53 cities in Colombia. And based on this experience, we calculate other SDG indicators at 11.7.1 and others that help us a lot to improve the information that we obtain with Earth observation data. The progress in this achievement has been possible thanks to several factors: having a team trained in the use of geospatial information, making partnerships with different agencies to extend and improve the process and the technical capacity of the team. And well, this information is very useful for the cities. The integration of statistical and geospatial information is crucial, contribute to understanding the socio-demographic and economic phenomena in cities, as well as an input to take preventive and mitigation actions from the consequence of climate change, principal in vulnerable communities. The integration process between the statistical and geospatial data provides local information for cities to plan the local territory, reinforcing the development of land use and plans. So there are a lot of potential for the statistical office and for us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sandra, and warm congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
Next, I am excited to announce that the United Arab Emirates is also being awarded a 2021 GEO Member Country Sectoral Category Award for their work to federate their SDG-related data and share it directly with the United Nations Federated Information System for the Sustainable Development Goals through the United Arab Emirates SDG Data Hub. Accepting the award are, and I will please ask you to turn your cameras on, Tharaya Al-Hashimi, Executive Director for Digital Data Enabling Sector at the UAE Federal Competitiveness and Statistics Center, and Marwa El-Kabani, Associate Advisor for the Future of Data Department at the UAE Federal Competitiveness and Statistics Center. If I can please ask you both to turn your cameras on. Our question for the both of you is, could you please describe the UAE SDG Data Hub and provide an example of how it's being used to report on indicators and drive progress toward SDG implementation in the UAE?
We are honored to receive such an award and would like to thank the GEO for promoting the Earth observation to address sustainability challenges, which is considered great support to the nation worldwide. FCSC serves as a UAE National Statistic Office and as a secretariat to the National Committee or SDG. We collaborate with stakeholders to collect, analyze, digitalize, and publish data in support with the national indicators and SDG. So the UAE SDG Data Hub is one of a publishing tool. It represents a centralized approach to share the best practices and progress toward the SDG and engaging manner. The Hub is a geospatial platform that serves the purpose of tracking and reporting progress toward SDG implementation to two parties. First, to the UAE Cabinet, as well to the United Nations Department of Economical and Social Affairs, through integrating with the UN Federated Information System for SDG directly and remotely. So whenever we have an update on any of our indicators, it gets directly flow of information is there and everything gets updated. The UX of the hub serves to create awareness about SDG to the society while engaging them through a call of an action to adopt sustainable habits. Society can also participate in surveys or quick polls to better understand the perception and preference to support future programs. Examples on how we do that is that the hub addresses two main challenges. First, being reporting the progress to the UAE Cabinet and to the United Nations. So the hub centralized vast amount of information and the policymaker to help the policymaker to make an informed decision related that is sustainable. We make sure there is an open data available for SDG indicator level, addressing to report progress to the Cabinet and the United Nations while being integrated with the FIS for SDG. Secondly, the hub addresses creating awareness around SDG and to engage the whole society to successfully implement the SDG, as we need to create awareness and engage society with those indicators of SDG. The initiative element features a selection of best practices for multiple sectors within the country. In addition to the initiative, the UAE is taking a deep dive into data storytelling as a way to raise public awareness around SDG while implementing a significant geodata. So the return of investment on those platform initiatives include society impact, increasing public awareness on SDG, promoting open data, and increased sector awareness and contribution, supporting to have a centralized platform for an SDG data initiative. This model can easily be replicated in other countries to ensure that each member state achieves the SDGs in a fashionable or sustainable resource that saves the manner across the world to the best of the community. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Thuraya, and again, warm congratulations. Next, I am happy to announce that the collaboration among the UN Development Program Colombia, UNDP Ecuador, and UNDP Peru has been selected for the 2021 Intergovernmental Sectoral Category Award for their efforts to work with NASA and government leaders and academia in Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru to create nationally relevant data, leveraging Earth observations to support implementation and reporting on SDG 15, Life on Land. Accepting the award are Sarah Ferrer Olivella, Resident Representative for UNDP Colombia, Matilde Mort, Resident Representative for UNDP Ecuador, Bettina Wu, Resident Representative for UNDP Peru. Let's start, and please turn on your cameras, and we'll start with a question for Sarah, representing UNDP Colombia. Sarah, what were some common challenges in Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru, and how are satellite remote sensing products, along with other observations and relevant models, used to address these challenges?
Our three countries stretch from the tropical forests of the Amazon to the peaks of the Andean Mountains, to the rugged coastline of the Pacific. Together, we contain 17% of what experts have identified as the last of the best tropical forests. These forests have a high ecological quality and provide a suite of services, including carbon sequestration, habitat for iconic species such as the jaguar, and water filtration. And yet, current monitoring and reporting for SDG 15 focuses only on forest extent and not necessarily forest quality. And in our view, this is a critical gap. Another gap we observe is indicators and data are developed at the global level without taking into account national context and expertise. To support governments in each country in their commitments to SDG 15, we need indicators developed in partnership with our national experts that can provide a comprehensive status of life on land, promote greater accountability, and direct further action. This project is designed just to do that. We bring together stakeholders from 37 institutions in Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru to do the following. First, understand national needs related to SDG 15. Second, develop state-of-the-art data on forest integrity, human pressure, water risk, and vertebrate species using Earth observations. Third, create nationally validated indicators for SDG 15. Fourth, to analyze trends over time. And lastly, fifth, to make data available via the UN Biodiversity Lab decision support system.
Thank you very much. Next, let's go to Matilde Mort, who is representing UNDP Ecuador. Matilde, could you please describe some of the critical factors that helped with this cross-institutional and cross-country collaboration to maximize impact in using Earth observations for SDG 15?
Yes, of course, and thank you so much. We are really pleased to have been gained this award. So the NASA Life on Land project has been built on partnership in many forms, partnerships across academia, government, the UN, and across our three countries, Colombia, Peru, and Ecuador. By fostering knowledge sharing between government officials and scientists in the US, I think the project has helped countries to explore the connections between science and policy and promoting evidence-based decision-making processes. And I would say that several critical factors have enabled these partnerships. First, we've counted on the power of UNDP as a convener across sectors, countries, and even languages. Second, we've gone through a process of intercultural awareness in navigating language and cultural differences when working with a global team, but also in understanding and effectively communicating differences across the worlds of science, policy, and implementation. And third, we've gone stronger through dialogue and openness, which has allowed each actor to feel part of the initiative and each government counterpart to feel the national validation processes and ownership. These were encouraged and promoted for gaining the results. I would like to say that there's many institutions that weren't able to share the stage to accept this award. Government ministries, national data providers, and scientific focal points, international science teams, regional NGOs, our colleagues at the UNDP Nature for Development Hub, and many more. Although the three of us are here today, the three representatives of UNDP in the countries, I would like to express my deep gratitude to these other actors and partners. This award recognizes their persistence, their effort, and positive results. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Matilde. And we also have Bettina Wall representing UNDP Peru. Our question to you, Bettina, are the Earth observation data products and methods developed through this collaboration replicable to other countries and geographies, and or to help address additional international policy commitments, except for the SDGs?
Thank you. The simple answer, yes and yes. The project is among the premier efforts to integrate data development, monitoring, and policy. It demonstrates a pathway towards broader application for the nearly 170 countries served by UNDP. The data and indicators developed by the project offer better measurements to monitor the quality of tropical forest ecosystems. This offers a powerful resource not only for our 3 countries, but for the 26 other countries with tropical forests. Other efforts are underway to provide measures of ecosystem quality in non-forest ecosystems that can be used in similar ways. We hope this award and this project can contribute to international efforts advocating for better targets and indicators on biodiversity. This is relevant both for SDG 15 and for the new global framework for nature that will be agreed upon in 2022 by countries party to the UN Biodiversity Convention. We've heard it time and again. Experts agree that we must take urgent action to address our planetary emergency by 2030 or face dire consequences. As we work to heed this call, monitoring ecosystem quality is essential to take the pulse of the planet. By bringing together science and policy to better measure, monitor, and manage nature, we can create a foundation for transformative action for people and planet.
Thank you very much, everyone, and again, a warm congratulations. Next, it is my honor to share that the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations has been selected to receive the 2021 SDG Custodian Agency Sectoral Category Award for their efforts in developing a new method to measure and monitor SDG Indicator 15.4.2 Mountain Green Cover Index, leveraging free and open Earth observation datasets. Accepting the award is Pietro Gennari, Chief Statistician at the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. Warm congratulations. Our question to you is, could you please describe some of the benefits of integrating Earth observations into the official methodology to measure the Mountain Green Cover Index? And how have you been working with countries to support validation efforts for monitoring this indicator, leveraging Earth observations?
Well, first of all, Let me say that I'm extremely grateful to GEO and the Earth Observation for Sustainable Development Goals initiative for choosing FAO as one of the winners of the 2021 GEO SDG Award. I believe that this prize will definitely strengthen the work on Earth observation in our organization. Regarding your questions, allow me to provide a brief background on the role played by FAO in the global monitoring and reporting of the SDG indicators. FAO has been designated by the UN Statistical Commission, so by countries, as the custodian agency for 21 indicators selected to monitor a wide variety on food and agricultural SDG targets. In this role, FAO has consistently supported the adoption of Earth observation data and geospatial information as an important instrument to effectively measure directly or indirectly several SDG indicators. In particular, the organization has developed a new SDG indicator directly monitored with Earth observation data, that is the Mountain Green Cover Index, or MGCI, which provides information on the extent of vegetation change and the general health of the mountain ecosystem. After producing initial baseline estimates in 2017, based on visual interpretation of remote sensing data on a sample of selected territorial areas within each country, FAO has recently developed an alternative methodology and improved methodology to simplify, improve the accuracy, and automatize the monitoring of the MGCI. This innovation method, which is based on Earth observation products from satellite images and the reliable automatic interpretation model, was pilot tested in several countries and is now used to monitor the MGCI in all countries all over the world. By integrating Earth observation data into the official indicator methodology, we have achieved a number of important results. Firstly, the standardization of the methodology and its key inputs has allowed us to obtain results that are fully comparable across countries. The use of validated input layers, in addition, has allowed us to provide accuracy measures associated with the MGSCI estimates, leading to increased transparency. Secondly, the MGSCI computation is based on a quantitative model of spectral characteristics of satellite time series data. And this ensures objectivity of the MGSCI estimation, as opposed to the subjectivity of the visual interpretation approach that was used for the previous reporting cycle. And this leads to increased trust and confidence among users in the results that we produce. Thirdly, countries who have national land cover maps and digital elevation model more accurate than the global products can use these as inputs into the new FAO methodology. And this leads, of course, to increased country ownership. Finally, I would like to highlight that FAO has supported countries in the validation of the MGCI values for 2021 by sharing our estimates with countries and asking for their validation using a purposefully developed WebGIS app, which greatly facilitates the assessment of green vegetation cover in mountain areas. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Pietro, and again, warm congratulations.
Thank you.
Next, I am happy to announce that Stanford University has been selected to receive the 2021 Academia Sectoral Award for their efforts in integrating the essential biodiversity variables derived from Earth observations to improve the accuracy, accessibility, and relevance of ecosystem service modeling. We also want to recognize Stanford for its close collaboration with the Ministry of Environment, Energy, and Telecommunications in Costa Rica and the Central Bank of Costa Rica to generate national SDG indicators and improve biodiversity and ecosystem service monitoring for other policy conventions, helping pilot Costa Rica's first national ecosystem accounts through the UN system of experimental environmental accounts. Accepting the award is Becky Chaplin-Kramer, lead scientist at the Natural Capital Project, Woods Institute for the Environment at Stanford University. Becky, congratulations to you. Could you please describe some key benefits of integrating ecosystem and biodiversity values into national and local planning in Costa Rica? And what are some examples of Earth observation data products that are available for national SDG use, and how scalable is this approach?
Yes, and thank you so much for this honor. On behalf of my team, we are so gratified to receive this award. The benefits of integrating these values into planning is that nature supports us in myriad ways, many of them invisible. So if planning and the resulting implementation of those plans proceeds without accounting for those values of nature to people, we risk losing many of those values. Our work with Costa Rica's Ministry of Environment and Energy and the Central Bank and PRIUS Lab has aimed to make information about the values of nature more accurate, accessible, and relevant, as you said, for decision making by advancing the integration of Earth observations into biodiversity and ecosystem service modeling. As for examples of the Earth observation data products that are available for national SDG use, we've produced national maps of more than 30 data products that are now hosted on MNI's SINIA data portal, including vertebrate and pollinator diversity, as well as ecosystem functional diversity, which get at support SDG 15, life on land, and which drive ecosystem services like wildlife-based tourism, crop pollination, and sediment retention, contributing to SDGs 1, no poverty, SDG 2, zero hunger, 6, clean water, and 8, decent work and economic growth. The important advance here is that we're moving beyond land use, land cover in our modeling, which is the typical way that ecosystem services are represented. So just to give you an example, modeling pollination typically sets a single coefficient for all forests to characterize its suitability for nesting and its availability of floral resources. But we know that more diverse forests have more different types of cavities for bees to nest in and more different species flowering at the same time to provide nectar more continuously to pollinators. So we can first map ecosystem functional type according to the phenological curve, which we derive from remotely sensed vegetation indices at many time steps over the growing season. Then we look at the diversity of ecosystem functional types within the flight range of farms and use that to set the nesting and floral resources in the model so that pollinator availability and pollination can reflect that diversity around the farm. Pollination is super important to coffee, one of Costa Rica's most valuable crops. So understanding where and how ecosystems and biodiversity in particular support pollinators is really key to sustainable development. And if too much habitat around coffee farms is lost, yields could decline, requiring yet more land and cultivation. So we've made similar advances for modeling tourism and sediment retention, and ultimately linking GeoBond's essential biodiversity variables like this to ecosystem services modeling allows us to better reflect the spatial variability in ecosystems and their provision of services, which is really important in making land management decisions for sustainable development. As for scaling, these advances are being integrated into our free and open source software, Invest, and making improvements to our global modeling, so which makes these approaches more accessible to anyone, anywhere in the world. Thank you so much.
Great, thank you very much, and a warm congratulations again. Next, I am happy to announce that the Netherlands Space Office has been selected to receive the 2021 Special Category Award for Innovation because of their work on the G4AW, or Geodata for Agriculture and Water, Space for Food Security Facility, promoting the use of geodata and other open data in support of farming applications to improve food security in alignment with Sustainable Development Goal 2, Zero Hunger. Accepting the award are Harm van de Wetering, Director of the Netherlands Space Office, and Ruud Grim, Program Manager at the Netherlands Space Office and Coordinator of the G4AW program. Warm congratulations. Could you please describe how G4AW contributes to Zero Hunger and SDG 2, and in particular through supporting management of some of the targets and related indicators under that goal? Please share with us some of the related innovation and tools or products that are coming out of this project?
Yes, thank you. And I'm happy to do so, of course. And first of all, let me thank you and say how proud I am. It's really an honor that the global community committed to sustainable development has recognized the innovative power of the G4AW program. The Netherlands has already taken the challenge in 2013 to initiate the GEO Data for Agriculture and Water program, G4AW. And this program consists of, in total, 25 projects in 15 developing countries. And the aim ultimately is to reach 5 million smallholder farmers with easy to understand advices based on satellite and other data, helping them to improve their yields and to secure their incomes. When I was starting in my position as a director of the Netherlands Space Office 3 years ago, I was immediately impressed by the power and the impact of this program. And for me, it showed exactly the relevance that Earth observation from space can have for societal challenges. And in this case of G4AW, it contributes to the SDG Zero Hunger as well as No Poverty. And I can see why the G4AW program is nominated for its innovative power. I see 3 items that are very innovative. Let me first mention the technical innovative element. In most of the projects, smart IT applications were developed based on satellite and other data. And in all the projects, the starting point of the development, the services were the local needs. And let me share some examples of developed services. We have a project in Bangladesh where a warning system is developed, so farmers receive a timely warning to spray to avoid diseases if needed, diseases that could otherwise have destroyed their crops. In Burundi, farmers receive seeding advices, so not to spill seeds and to prevent from seeding when drought is predicted. Pastoralists in Uganda and Ethiopia receive information based on a navigation application, so they can find safe routes with their goats or cows to grazing grounds with sufficient water. And I had the honor myself to join a field visit 2 years ago to Ghana. And in Ghana, there are 2 G4AW projects. And in one of these projects, we aim to help smallholder farmers to increase their yields on their cacao plantations. And I learned there that the yields can be maximized when there is a percentage of about 15% of higher trees that bring some shade. And these can be indicated by images from space. Also, trees that are too old can be indicated based on satellite data. And based on these data, local advisors prepare advices for each individual plantation. And I could see that men as well as women were being advised and trained. And I heard that in certain cases, the yields improved with 30 to 50%. So you can see that these projects, they do more than just monitoring. It's really about implementing and improving. And then besides the technical clever applications, one other element of innovation is the cooperation between different organizations, each bringing their own expertise and tools. Together, they bridge space ICT technologies and starting from the need of the smallholder food producers, the farmers and the pastoralists. A third and last innovation is the focus on the underlying business model and financial plan to be able to continue the project after the initial support. And we are very proud to see that many of their cooperations and innovations continue after the project closure. G4AW has already reached and supported 1 million food producers, and we are aiming with this project to reach up to 5 million. And recently, the Global Commission on Adaptation has set a new goal, 300 million farmers to be supported in 2030. To conclude, we are very proud that the Netherlands was able to act as early adapter and be inspirational for others to also invest in these so much required innovations needed to reach zero hunger. And on the other side, we applaud GEO for their commitment to almost 20 years to bring more synergy in Earth observation activities. We have seen good progress in engagement of UN organizations and cooperation of activities in GEO flagships. So thanks again for this innovation award.
Thank you very much, and again, warm congratulations. Next, it is my honor to share that the Water at Reading research group at the University of Reading has been selected to receive the 2021 Special Category Award for Testimonials, for their efforts in the use of state-of-the-art global-scale flood forecasting models for humanitarian organizations to take early action ahead of flood events and for showcasing a concrete example that demonstrates the impact of Earth observations on flood management approaches and decision-making. Accepting the award is Liz Stevens, Associate Professor in Climate Risks and Resilience at the Department of Meteorology at the University of Reading. Liz, first of all, warm congratulations. And our question for you is, how have you worked to strengthen the capacity of national organizations and hydrometeorological services or humanitarian organizations to deliver real impact on the ground? Can you share an example of where your collaborative research has been applied to improve flood forecasting and warning efforts?
Thank you very much. My colleague Hannah Cloak and I are absolutely honoured to receive this award on behalf of the Water at Reading University Research Group. But we hope that it recognises not just our role, but the importance of sustainable partnerships between scientists and decision makers. It is important to recognise too that the successful use of these forecasting systems goes well beyond just us. The German Federal Foreign Office has been the driving force for the use of forecasts in the humanitarian community through funding to the Red Cross Red Crescent movement to develop robust plans for taking anticipatory action. It has also funded the aid that has been provided off the back of these forecasts, and through showcasing the benefits has motivated other organisations, including the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, to do the same. It really is a brave organisation who innovates like this, accepting the uncertainty in the forecasts and acknowledging that even if there are some false alarms, in the long run there is an overwhelming benefit for communities if we act earlier. We would also like to acknowledge the role of SHEAR, which is the UK's Science for Humanitarian Emergencies and Resilience Research Programme, which has funded much of our research to ensure that these aid investments are based on robust science. It is through our role as partners in the development of GLOFAS, the Global Flood Awareness System, which is run by the Copernicus Emergency Management Service, that we began to support humanitarian efforts, alongside the Joint Research Centre of the European Commission and the European Centre for Medium Range Weather Forecasts. Ideally, we would all want to see sustainable solutions for early warning systems embedded in the capacity of the National Hydrometeorological Services. However, there is a role for GLOFAS as an interim solution where hydrological forecasting capacity is under development, or as a solution to extend the lead time of forecasts, recognising that forecasting further ahead into the future requires expensive computational resources which are beyond the reach of many countries. We aim to nurture partnerships between the National Hydrometeorological Services and GLOFAS developers. This enables those national hydromet services to inform the very latest science that is incorporated into the development of the global systems, and also supports the state-of-the-art global systems to reach their full potential by driving sustainable solutions embedded in that national forecasting capacity. For example, our SHEAR-funded PhD researcher Sazad Hussain has joined us from FFWC, the Flood Forecasting and Warning Centre in Bangladesh. His research addresses how GLOFAS can be used to provide forecasts for longer lead times to inform FFWC as well as humanitarian operations before an imminent flood. Through anticipatory humanitarian approaches developed in partnership with organisations like the Red Cross Red Crescent Climate Centre, these forecasts can support decisions which benefit the most vulnerable people to climate-related hazards before they strike. Utilising the latest scientific knowledge, we can now skillfully identify which regions are in the path of potential flooding before the rain even starts to fall. And in 2020, over $5 million of humanitarian aid ultimately reached over 200,000 people in Bangladesh in advance of the highest water level ever recorded, based on a combined GLOFAS and FFWC forecast trigger. And this really is just the start. GLOFAS has also been incorporated into early action protocols in Kenya, Uganda, Ethiopia, Zambia, and the Philippines, with many more under development. This means that many more people will be supported by aid before a flood strikes. This is something that is increasingly important as floods and other natural hazards become a bigger problem under climate change. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and again, warm congratulations.
Thank you.
So our next and final award is the collaboration among UN Habitat, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, ITC at the University of Twente, The UAE's Federal Competitiveness and Statistics Center and many additional contributors from across sectors have been selected for the 2021 Special Category Award for collaboration for their efforts in creating the Earth Observations Toolkit for Sustainable Cities and Human Settlements. The toolkit shares Earth observation ready-to-use data tools and use cases and serves as a first step for cities and countries interested in leveraging Earth observations for urban-related monitoring and planning efforts. Accepting the award are Robert Ndukwa, Head of the Data and Analytics Unit of the Knowledge and Innovations Branch at UN Habitat, Dennis Mwaniki, Special Data Expert in the Data and Analytics Unit at UN Habitat, Monica Kufer, Assistant Professor at ITC at the University of Twente, and Marwa El-Kabani, Associate Advisor at the Federal Competitiveness and Statistics Center in the United Arab Emirates. Warm congratulations to all. First, let's start with Robert and Dennis at UN Habitat. Again, congratulations. And could you please share how this EO Toolkit collaboration came about and what were some critical factors that enabled its development and progress to date?
Thank you. On behalf of UN Habitat family and the over 30 organizations that have contributed to the development of this EO Toolkit, we are very honored to receive this GEO SDG 2021 Collaboration Award. Indeed, since 2015, when the SDGs were adopted, and subsequently in 2016, when the new urban agenda came into effect, UN Habitat, along with many other partners, has been working as a lead custodian agency for many indicators under Goal 11 to ensure that we promote enhanced urban monitoring, particularly where we deploy geospatial technologies. So the EO Toolkit is just one of many products of these very fruitful collaborations that we've had with many partners. And this specific idea was born during the World Urban Forum Session 10 in Abu Dhabi in February 2020. For those who are not familiar with World Urban Forum, this is a premier conference where cities and urban issues are discussed, and urban issues in terms of showcasing experiences, emerging tools and technologies, as well as discussing policy direction is made. So during the World Urban Forum in Abu Dhabi, various partners, including UN Habitat, the Group on Earth Observations for Sustainable Development Goals, EO for SDGs, the European Commission Joint Research Center, Keith Royal Institute for Technology, University of Twente, and the National Institute for Statistics and Geography of Mexico organized one session to showcase at that time some of the progress on how Earth observations and geospatial information was enhancing urban monitoring and understanding of urban trends across cities and countries. Following the end of that side event, we had a 3-hour meeting, which was also attended again by many other partners, both physically, but also others connecting virtually. And from that meeting, we were able to work on a roadmap for the creation of the Earth Observation Toolkit for Sustainable Cities and Communities. And the period that followed that session, UN Habitat, EO for SDGs, and GEO took the lead to develop a toolkit concept note, and this was sent out, and this later we sent out a call for expression of interest that attracted about 60 submissions from member states, various cities, academic institutions, and research centers spread across all the region, which of course now forms the constituent representatives that have formed part of the development of this EO toolkit. So from the list, at least 30 submissions fully satisfied the set criteria for participation in the toolkit and were selected to join the toolkit steering committee that has to date shaped the evolution of the toolkit from an idea that was discussed in a meeting at the World Urban Forum to what is now a living resource that it is today.
Thank you very much, Robert and Dennis. We will then go to Marwa with a question to you. How can the EU toolkit be used by city and national level leaders to track and report on international agreements such as the Sustainable Development Goals and the New Urban Agenda, and support city-level planning.
Thank you, Archie, and thank you, Robert, for the introduction. So the success of the SDGs implementation depends on various aspects, but partnership is always at the core. The Committee of EO Toolkit is an example of knowledge partnership. The committee goal is to develop and assess geospatial methodologies, toolkits, and datasets to monitor SDGs using different Earth observation products and publish them on an open knowledge and open data portal. Having Earth observation experts in the committee from different entities across the world helps in developing a diversity of products that fits different countries' needs and different users' needs with different backgrounds. For example, the user can easily download ready data or even produce it using EO tools with their own local data, or they can do assessment to understand the land use efficiency, and various more tools are available for them. In addition, there is an array of use cases in hope to support countries with the implementation of SDGs and inspire with different uses of Earth observation and geospatial technology. This is quite helpful to GIS analysts involved in SDGs compilation to find a one-stop page with all datasets, toolkits, and technical documentation coupled with use cases and contact to Earth observation experts to give them a hand or an advice when needed. The Knowledge Hub can definitely save lots of time for sustainable cities subject matter experts across the world, and we are honored to be part of this project. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Marwa. And now let's turn to Monica. Monica, given the replicability and usefulness of this resource, the Group on Earth Observations community is exploring implementation of additional toolkits for other sustainable development goals. What would be some good advice or practice you'd like to share with them based on lessons learned and your involvement in this effort?
Thanks again, and I would like to express for the whole Toolkit group that we are very honored of receiving the SDG Collaboration Award. And also special thanks to UN Habitat and NASA for coordinating the effort. So what is really essential is coordination and commitment of a large group. I think that was one of the key recipes of the success. Then furthermore, to enhance the replicability and the usefulness, I think 4 elements are really essential. The first element is a good understanding of the diverse data needs of users, and particularly focusing on the non-EU experts, which we often forget, in particularly in our case, the city authorities, and developing the toolkit around a user-centered approach. Then second, we think it's really important to provide easy access to data, which is combined with capacity development of users. So capacity development is a very important element. Then third, that data are reviewed and well documented based on fair data principles are really a key element to have build trust of users. And fourth, the toolkit needs to contain data that fit the purpose. So data that really are able to generate impact, meaning the co-creation of the toolkit with a very diverse user group. And also listening to Robert, you heard that there are many users involved in this endeavor to build the toolkit. So these 4 elements combined with a really committed team and a well-coordinated effort is the pathway for the development of a toolkit. Thanks again, and over to you, Archie.
Thank you very much, Monica, Marwa, Dennis, and Robert. Again, a warm congratulations to the entire team. And now I would like to introduce our colleague Lawrence Friedl, Director of NASA's Applied Sciences Program in the Earth Science Division, and also one of the co-chairs of the GEO for SDG initiative, who will provide concluding remarks for today's announcement ceremony. Lawrence, over to you.
Thank you, RG, and thanks to all the speakers who joined us today. Congratulations on your amazing work and accomplishments. Congratulations and our deep appreciation for all you've done to advance sustainable development around the world through Earth observations and in alignment with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. First, Arji, thanks very much to you for emceeing this year's event and all of your continuing efforts and leadership for the GEO initiative on EO for SDG. And also many thanks to Jessica Chow for her excellent support in helping to administer the GEO SDG Awards program again this year. Really, thank you very much to both of you. So I'm one of 3 co-chairs for the EO for SDG initiative. The other 2 are Paloma Merrido from Mexico's National Institute for Statistics and Geography, or INEGI, as well as Usama Uchai from Japan's Aerospace Exploration Agency, or JAXA. And from the 3 of us, on behalf of the entire team of the EO for SDG initiative, we want to extend our warm and very sincere congratulations to all of the winners of the 2021 GEO SDG Awards. And as we celebrate your outstanding initiatives and achievements, we hope that your projects will really inspire the growing global community to leverage Earth observations and geospatial information to continue progress on improving social, economic, and environmental sustainability, and definitely in alignment with the global goals. And finally, to everyone watching and listening, we hope that you will help in recognizing these awardees. We hope you'll help in spreading the word about their outstanding work, in using Earth observations to monitor and accelerate progress on the SDGs. So we hope that you'll share congratulatory messages on social media, that you'll tell your own communities and your own networks about these projects, and that you'll share their work as use cases for the power that Earth observations provide in delivering positive social, economic, and environmental impact. So thank you, and once again, congratulations to all of the awardees.